Moorlands Sport Extra, the podcast, brought to you by the Moorlands Radio Sports Team and in association with Leek Building Society, awarded the UK's Best Building Society 2023.
We're going to start in the Football League this week, and we're going to go to a man who is a legend of football in these local areas. And the word legend is branded around all too often these days. But this guy certainly qualifies for legendary status in the North Staffordshire football area. And no, Dave Lee, it's not you, unfortunately, mate. Only joking. You are a legend of the press boxes. It's John Rudge, the club president of Port Vale. He's got a book out that he's written with local author Simon Lowe. It's called To Cap It All, and it tells the life of John Rudge. There's a review on the Moorlands Radio website about it that Dave Lee has written, and Dave Lee also caught up with John Rudge the other week to get his thoughts on why he has finally put pen to paper on his illustrious career.
John Rudge, thank you ever so much for talking to us. You've got a new book out, The Cap It All, co-written with Simon Lowe. Why did it take you so long to write this book? Because I know you started it probably over 20 years ago, is that right?
That's correct, yeah. I'm Chris Harper, who was the reporter for the Sentinel. We'd written 15 chapters actually, some 25 years ago now. I was just moving from Port Vale after being there for 19 years, going to Stoke City, which is obviously great rivals. Across the Great Divide was going to be difficult. And I said to Chris, Chris, I think we're best leaving the book for a little bit. We're leaving it. So we just left it, and so those 15 chapters which he had written, I'd put away in my cupboard at home. And really, there was quite a few incidents where the kids, my two girls, said to me, Dad, why aren't you going to finish that book? And so I said, nah, I said, I've had my time now, I said, I'll leave it. But anyway, when the supporters decided to put the statue up for me, which is going to cost £100,000, I said, £100,000? Where the hell are we going to get £100,000? Yeah, especially with the cost of living, how things are at the moment in time, it's very difficult for people. I'd met Simon Lowe and he mentioned about the book. I said, I'll tell you what, I'll write the book. He says, and I'll donate all the money to the statue to try and help support it. So that's how it's gone. Simon's, I think, has done a really good job on the book. I'm very pleased with it. To actually get the book through now after all this time is incredible, really. I mean, I think I'd really forgot about it. I hope the book, there's cobwebs on it.
Well, there's no cobwebs on the stories. They're all fascinating. Half the book is about your time at Port Vale because you spent many years there, but about a quarter of it is at Stoke City. Very contrasting times though, wasn't it?
Well, people say to me that I went to Stoke after having the opportunity actually to be the manager on 2 or 3 occasions, but I didn't go there. I went there as director of football, which is a different aspect altogether. I was very lucky in that respect, but I mean, going to Stoke after being at Port Vale for like 19 years, so I was there for 14 years. But you went there as director of football, it's a different aspect really. You're not in the public eye as much as you are when you're the manager. So I mean, it was a great time for me at Stoke. We had great success. I worked with 5 different managers. We went to the cup final. We got promotion to the Premier League. And I mean, I've been very fortunate in the sense that I've been at both Port Vale and Stoke, and now we've got the situation with both clubs. We've got English owners who've got the heart and soul in the club and also the community. So I've been very fortunate to have those. From the time when I first started, I was a 15-year-old boy going to...
I was going to say, let's start... Okay, half the book's about Port Vale, quarter of the book is about your time at Stoke City, but the first quarter is about you growing up and your playing career. How would they have described you as a player?
Great player.
So that's Dave Lee in conversation with the one and only John Rudge, and thank you very much to Dave for organising the interview with John Rudge. And I tell you, it is going to be on many people's Christmas lists is to Capital. I know it's on my Christmas list as something to read, and if you want a point to show how important this book is and the work that John Rudge has done for our local clubs, in particularly Port Vale. This is a quote on the front cover from one Sir Alex Ferguson, and it says, "Every Port Vale supporter should get down on their knees and thank the Lord for John Rudge." Now, if that isn't a testament to the work that Rudge has done with the Vale, then I don't know what is. But anyway, we're going to move down into the world of non-league football now, and we're going to head to the Red Industry Stadium, where on Saturday Newcastle Town took on Witton Albion in the Pitching In Northern Premier League West. It was a game I was at. That was my game for the weekend, and well, it didn't go the way of Castle, did it? 1-0 up on 55 minutes through Tommy van der Laan. It was probably about the sixth chance that Castle had to break the deadlock. They did it finally, as I say. Tommy van der Laan placing his header beyond Ollie Martin and into the back of the net. But only 2 minutes later, former Leek Town man Harry Brazel equalised for Witton to bring them level. And then with 15 minutes left on the clock, Connor Hughes scored a second for the Albion to give them all 3 points. And as I say, after the game, I caught up with Paul Moore to get his reaction to the match. So we're joined by Paul Moore. Paul, finished here, Newcastle Town 1, Witton Albion 2. Just give us your assessment of this afternoon's performance.
Well, it's, as I've just said to Chris and Martin, first 65 minutes, there was we were the only team in it. I said to the lads at half time, all we have to do is just keep doing what we're doing, keep the ball nice and simple, do the basics. The chances will come themselves, and sure enough, it came, and we put it away. And at 1-0, I'm thinking, good, we've got a platform now, and we can kick on. They didn't really offer anything. There was no shots on our goal really to trouble us. I don't even think Slinny made a save, did he? And then just poor management. We've just scored. Instead of taking the heat out of the game and just get our shape and keep it nice and tight for 5 or 10 minutes, no hassles, we go and give a stupid corner and then don't pick the runner up, and he plants a header into the bottom corner. And it's just like, that's the part of us at the moment that is killing us, and our home form is proving that, and that at the minute is where I'm concerned, because we go away from home and we're devastating. We kill teams off, we come home and we just seem to just wilter. And then a second goal is a breakaway goal down the left hand side, crosses it across the box and finish it. There's no explanation.
There isn't. Why do you think it's the case that you're better playing away from home, or seem to be getting the results away from home, rather than here at the Red Industry Stadium?
I actually can't put my finger on it. I'll be quite honest with you. I think that, people have said various things I won't repeat, but I just think that at the moment we seem to switch off. In all the games, we don't manage it properly at vital moments of games. And we did it at Clitheroe. We were in the lead until the 75th minute. Should have won the game. Conceded. And then, we conceded again 5 or 10 minutes after that. And instead of just managing the game and saying to ourselves, look, all right, we'll settle for a point. We just didn't do it. Maybe, as a management staff, maybe we've got to look at things, how we can help the team with that. But I'm bitterly disappointed with today's result. I mean, I was disappointed at Clitheroe. I was disappointed against Hensford. I was disappointed. Just because we put ourselves in good positions and seem to throw it away.
Good positions indeed. I think you had 5, maybe more gilt edge chances that on another day easily find the back of the net. Yeah.
Could have won 5-2, 6-2, 7-2, whatever. Frustrating. But you know what? We have a target this year of where we want to be. We've still got 25 games to go. That's plenty for us to get our target. So you know, we know where we're at. We know what we've got to achieve, and we're going to have to make sure that next game we manage it accordingly. I think the results have been weird again today.
They have, yeah.
I mean, it's just the strangest of leagues, isn't it? So, you know, I think Hanley beat Clitheroe, didn't he, 2-0?
I'm not actually seeing that one. I know Leek lost and Nantwich lost, and I think Kisgrove lost as well.
Yeah, it's crazy, isn't it? It's crazy. So, look, you know, we just have to dust ourselves down. It's bitterly disappointing. What do you want? You know, I'm not going to kick the lads. At the end of the day, we know where we're at. We know we're a good side, hard to beat. We're winning. We are in every single game. There's nobody kicking our backsides. You know, you look at Leek and a few other results, 4-0. It's like, what's going on? We haven't had any of them. So that's a positive. We've just got to learn how to close games out.
Do you think it makes it more fun, the league being topsy-turvy? I guess for a manager, when you've lost the game, it doesn't so much, but for neutrals, it must.
I think it's good for all teams, because I think what it does is it makes it interesting. Because if it's going to be like this all the way to the end of the season, anyone can bloody win it. You know? So a team that goes on a great run of 5 or 6, 7 wins are going to put themselves in a real good position of winning the game, winning the league. So, yeah, interesting. You could say that, but I just want to get us right so that we're not just hard to beat. We win games. We're not losing games. We're picking up points every week. And I think if we can get ourselves in that position, we're going to be there or thereabouts.
Just quickly looking at your team sheet, new name on the bench, Ronan Allen, unused substitute today. Could you just give us a bit of an explanation as to who he is?
Yeah, he's a centre-half. I invited him in the summer. He came down for a couple of sessions. Good lad, 20 years of age. He's got a lot of ability. First step into this level, and excited to play and see him in action. Obviously, we've got Stubbsy and Josh, who again look strong today. So, you know, Roman's, he's going to put pressure on them. He's certainly not one that wants to sit on the bench and wait for too long, but he understands. He's coming to us. He was captain at Lower Breck for a while. So he's a good lad in the making, you know, and it's a step up for him. So we'll give him that opportunity when it arises. But a good lad to have on board.
And finally, Dan Coquelin. I think he was announced the other week as leaving Newcastle to go to Bury, but he was on the team sheet today. If you could just clear that one up.
Yeah, he didn't enjoy his time at Bury. Didn't feel like it was right for him. You know, players choose when, you know, what they like and what they don't, and I think he just missed the you know, camaraderie that was here, and the positive way that we've been. We're just in that little period, but you know, again, on another day could have scored 3. So we just keep banging away with that, but Dan's back in the ranks and he just gives us that opportunity, doesn't he?
So that's the thoughts of Paul Moore, the manager of Newcastle Town, following their defeat on last Saturday, and they're back in league action this Saturday as they go to Chase Town. Now, don't forget, Chase Town play at Boldmere St Michael's FC. For anyone wanting to make the journey down to Birmingham, it's a Birmingham places, Boldmere St Michael, and wants to cheer on the Castle. And we're going to go from Saturday now to Tuesday and to North Cheshire, and near enough on the Mersey, and to Runcorn. And it wasn't a good night, was it not, for Leek Town Football Club? Let's be frank about it. Full-time score, Runcorn Linnets 5, Leek Town 0. That just says everything you needed to know, really, didn't it? Not a great evening, but Josh Brehaut, the Leek Town manager, gave us his thoughts after the game live on Moorlands Radio, because that was our commentary match, and here's what he had to say.
Thanks very much, James, and you join us live back in the commentary position with the Leek manager, Josh Brehaut. Josh, a 5-0 defeat following a 4-3 defeat at the weekend. Just give us your thoughts on that game.
Well, obviously it's not been a good day. Obviously, we've given away really poor goals again, and we just seem a shadow of ourselves. The same group of players that have achieved and reached incredible heights earlier on in the season. Obviously look bereft of confidence at the moment, and ultimately it's my job to work out why that is and what we can do to stem the tide and turn the momentum back in our favour.
I mean, without, obviously it was without even trying to dress up the performance. People shouldn't panic. You're still there. I think fifth, that gets you in the, so you've time to work it out. But you mentioned on Saturday there seemed to be this tendency to hit the ball too long. Was that the same tonight, do you think?
Yeah. I think there's multiple things that we can discuss around tonight, and you're right. We've levelled off now in terms of games, and if you remember rightly, I said when we had 5 games in hand, we ain't getting carried away. We're not going to win 5 out of 5 games in hand and be flipping 10 points clear, like I was hearing from some circles, some people. Football doesn't work like that, and to go Saturday, Tuesday is not easy. And you're right, we've levelled off now, and we are where we are. So we've found ourselves. We're in a position where we're in a competitive place. We can't feel sorry for ourselves and sulk. But what we have got to do is we've got to learn very, very quickly and obviously freshen the group up.
I mean, they've brought a lad in from the northwest counties that scored about 6 in a month, and he was difficult to cope with. But over and above that, there were a couple of your players that perhaps didn't operate at the level they normally do, and we saw some uncharacteristic errors which led to goals tonight. Yeah, and again, that's something we've got to try and work on. It is very... I think once the game's 3-0 in the manner that it was, obviously the third goal going in at the time it did, you're looking at character at that stage. You're looking at the player's ability to demonstrate resilience, which we did the other day. And, the mistakes that then happen after that, because again, all 3 of the goals in the second half have come from us turning the ball over inside our own half, our own defensive third, in a couple of those. In a couple of those examples, and at that stage, they don't happen probably if the others haven't happened anyway. So again, we've got to learn really quickly, and I'm very sorry to the fans that have come out tonight and watched that, because they've come out on a Tuesday night, long way, and we haven't produced, we haven't. We haven't done the bare minimum, which is competing and running around at the same level, at least the same level as our opponent. I mean, we saw at 3-0 the fact that you got to shuffle the pack. It was a triple substitution, which is, a gamble in itself, because that leaves you open if you get an injury. But nevertheless, you go out, you make that statement, but then you're going to leave holes because you need to push forward. Yeah. Listen, I think the 3 players that came onto the game deserve the opportunity to come into the game. Kari was unlucky not to start tonight. I had a chat with him before the game and explained my reasoning why. But he came in and influenced the game on, positively on Saturday, scoring and obviously creating a chance right at the end that we nearly got the equaliser from. Riles, again, has been in and out. Paddy's not had a minute yet, so it was an opportunity to get him on, and it was good to take a look at him as well, wasn't it? Well, at the end of the day, it was an opportunity to learn about him in difficult circumstances, and he came in and showed a little bit of personality, which is good. Obviously, we've still conceded a couple more goals, but yeah, like I say, we've got to learn, and we've got to learn quick, and I can absolutely categorically tell you that I won't be. I won't be feeling sorry for myself, and the management team around me will be, together we will pull it apart and decide what we need to do to make the group stronger to try and sort of reinvigorate us.
going into the game Saturday and beyond.
It was disappointing tonight. Well, at the end of the day, games like this happen in football. We've seen it. The best sides in the world can get turned over and have a bad night. Yes, there was a defeat on Saturday, defeat tonight. But Leek Football Club is still a good football club. And maybe, I suppose, other clubs around you have been able to, as we saw with the guy they brought in, they're still sort of tinkering around and having a look who's available and this, that and the other. And you'll be no different.
Yeah, absolutely. It's quite evident that we're going to have to try and freshen the group up. That's obvious. It's one of the beauties of being at this level. Our group is pretty thin, in terms of numbers, in terms of bodies. So yeah, we've got some work to do, and hopefully we can do something quickly.
We said, in the final moments of the commentary, going to Clitheroe this Saturday is probably not the one fixture that you would have wanted, and it'll give them a little bit of confidence. You're looking for a reaction now, Josh, aren't you, from the group of players that you put out on Saturday to say, this is not who we were and we're going to put that right?
Yeah, they've not turned into bad players overnight.
Absolutely.
Again, can't lose sight of what the levels they have reached. All we've got to work out is why we've had that little bit of a dip. And again, can't come away from the fact that we've had a really heavy schedule, and it's a learning curve for me, and I've got to take that on the chin and understand that we probably needed to freshen up the group and make more changes in and around this sort of last 5-game period that we've had. But I'll learn from that, and I think that's the only positive that comes from today really is that we're learning about the group more. It's a group that obviously we've there's some stalwarts within the group who've been in the group a long time. There's obviously been some new additions this season, so we're still learning about them. And obviously when you go in and go through this sticky patch, it's about learning from it very quickly and working out, how to move forward collectively. We've got to stick together now more than ever. Again, we can't afford to feel sorry for ourselves. We have another game, and football is good like that. You have to get over things quite quickly. Yeah,
you can't dwell on. You're not allowed to dwell on things.
Nope.
How influential is the fact that you've got a certain Tim Grice club legend that's getting ever so close now to coming back, and a young man that we thought the world of, thought he was a great player in Josh Ryder, who's had an ACL and has fought long and hard to get back, and we told he's a couple of games off on grass from. They'll be like two new signings.
Yeah, Josh is a little bit further away than Tim. Grice is making great progress, and we'll be hoping to get him some game time in very, very soon. Josh is a little bit further away. The nature of his injury means that the timescales are bigger. But yeah, of course, both of them being back on the training field's been great. Gricey now back in full contact training, and we know what he's about. He's shown his quality, and yeah, it'll be a big boost for us when he's ready and available.
Well, you've got a training session on Thursday ahead of a game on Saturday, yeah. And no doubt that you and the management team will turn over stones to find out a winning formula. And again, it's down to you can only do so much. It's down to the 11 that cross that white line.
Yeah, we've got to try and find that right formula, like you've said, and we'll do everything we possibly can to do that ahead of Saturday.
So that's Tony Walley speaking to Josh Brehaut following the midweek defeat at Runcorn Linnets, and they're certainly becoming the bogey side, are they? Runcorn Linnets for Leek Town. I think they've beaten them twice since 2018-19 when Runcorn first come to this league. That was an Integro Sports Cup tie and at the F-Ball Community Stadium in 2019-20, and then last season actually Leek did go up to Runcorn and came away with a fantastic 1-0 victory. I think Billy Reeves scored the only goal of the game, and that's the only league win that Leek have got over Runcorn, and Runcorn's goal scoring numbers are just ridiculous against Leek. I think in 11 games they are in the 20, so they're averaging about 2 goals a game in a minute, and it was 5-0 Tuesday. There's been a 4-1 playoff semi-final defeat against Runcorn, 3-1 in the playoff semi-final last season, so hopefully things will change the next time these two sides meet in the Pitching In Northern Premier League West. And now we're going to turn our attentions to this weekend and to the Isuzu FA Trophy. We're going to hear from both camps of our final teams left in the competition from the local area. That being Nantwich Town of the Pitching In Northern Premier League West Division and Buxton FC of the Vanarama National League North. We're going to hear from Sam Minihan of Buxton in a moment, but first, Danny Roberts of Nantwich Town. Now, Nantwich Town, there's so much to unpack here for you. So, let's start the story. So, Danny Roberts, we all know, was Leek Town's number one. He's played 238 times for the Blues. He left in the summer from Leek Town, and just a month ago, he was announced at Nantwich as their new signing following an injury to Scott Maloney, the regular goalkeeper for the Dabbers. And on his debut, Danny Roberts, he saved 2 penalties, 1 man of the match, and helped them progress in the FA Trophy at the expense of Stratford Town. So I caught up with Danny to find out about life, how things are going for him, and life at the Swansway Stadium, and of course look ahead to their big game at the weekend in the FA Trophy, and that's against Chester, who they played earlier this season. You're thinking, hang on, Nantwich have already played Chester. Yeah, they played earlier this season. They played them in the Emirates FA Cup, and a injury time winner from Harrison Burke won Chester the game, and they eventually progressed to the first round proper of the competition. But that's all in the past now, and as I say, we look ahead to Saturday's FA Trophy game between Nantwich Town and Chester. Joined by the Nantwich Town number one, Danny Roberts. Danny, thanks for joining us on Moorlands Radio. First of all, if we can just take you back to the spring of this year and your departure from Leek Town Football Club. If you could just take us through your departing the F-Ball Community Stadium from your perspective, please.
Hi, Rich. Yeah, obviously left Leek at the end of last season. I've been there for a long time. I had some relatively good success there without sort of gaining promotion, and it was just time for me to move on both parties, really, for the club and for myself. I needed a new challenge, just to get myself going again. I wasn't sort of enjoying my football as I used to over the last couple of seasons. So yeah, just to change is as good as the rest, really. So, and that's why I wanted to look for a different team.
Why do you think you weren't enjoying your football over the last couple of seasons, if you don't mind us asking?
Yeah, it's difficult for me to put my finger on it, really. Perhaps, as being so close and then not getting the results in the playoffs that I think we fully deserve, really. It takes a toll on you. And it seems with any walk of life, with work, whatever. Sometimes you just need that bit of a push to go and do something different, and reinvigorate yourself, really, and get your enjoyment back into the game.
Absolutely, and you had a couple of months, the first couple of months of this season without a side. Do you think that helped you to reinvigorate yourself?
Yeah, well, I haven't stopped training. I've been training with a couple of teams just to keep my fitness up. Just waiting for the right opportunity, really. I could have taken an opportunity earlier on a number of occasions, but it just didn't feel right. And, the Nantwich opportunity came up, and it just felt right, really, which is why I jumped at the chance.
And I guess you must be very pleased to be back in football and with a fantastic club in Nantwich Town.
Yeah, as I said, when the manager called me, Paul, he gave me a call and just said, do I fancy coming and have a chat? And as soon as I spoke to him, I was sold on it, and I just wanted to, get going as soon as possible, which is why I jumped at the chance, really. And I know the club. I've been there many years ago when I was a young boy. It's got a fantastic support. the boys have, welcomed me with open arms really, and I've settled in quite well. So yeah, just hopefully we can pick up some good results over the coming weeks.
Certainly so, and you're going in as first choice keeper because Scott Maloney is on the sidelines because he's injured himself. Do you think it's helped you going straight in number one rather than having to fight your way into the starting position against another goalkeeper?
Yeah, that was the aim really, to just go and play. There was no point me going and sitting on the bench and watching football. For every player, just not myself really. Everybody wants to go in and play games, and it's tough when you're a goalkeeper. There's only one spot, so that was a big thing for me. That I was going to play straight away really, and it sort of helped me get myself going again.
And you made the perfect start. You saved 2 penalties in the penalty shootout and got man of the match against Stratford Town in the FA Trophy. A great way to endear yourself to the Nantwich fans. That must have been a pleasing start.
Yeah, it was. It was a great start. We just couldn't get the goal that we probably deserved really, because we played quite well against Stratford, against a good side. And when he went to penalties, it's anyone's game really. And luckily, I went the right way twice and managed to save a couple of penalties, and we're through to the next round.
And it's Chester, which is a local derby. A bit of a score to settle for Nantwich because Chester just knocked Nantwich out of the FA Cup a couple of weeks ago. So that must be a game the players are looking forward to getting their teeth into. Yeah,
the boys are just looking, to get back on and trying and get through to the next round. We know, we're under no illusion it's going to be a tough game. Chester doing well in their league, but yeah, if we play well to our capabilities, then we're more than a match for anybody really.
And how much of the support going to be important on not only on Saturday but in every game? Because as we were just chatting before we started this interview, there are a fantastic set of supporters at Nantwich, non-stop singing for 90 minutes and what have you.
Yeah, they get behind the boys. Yeah, obviously I've only been there a few weeks, but yeah, they've welcomed me on board. The results haven't gone our way as of late, but they turn up in the numbers, get behind the boys. So yeah, hopefully we can put in a performance. Obviously tomorrow we've got a game on Tuesday against Runcorn in the Cup. So we're not looking past that. And then obviously we've got the big game at the weekend against Chester, so home advantage. So yeah, so hopefully they turn up in their numbers and get behind us.
So that's the thoughts of Danny Roberts about joining Nantwich Town, and of course looking ahead to that big game. And if you want tickets to go watch the Dabbers on Saturday, then you need to get yourself one pretty sharpish. They seem to be going like hotcakes. Are the tickets at the Swansway Stadium? Get on social media at the Dabbers on X, formerly known as Twitter, and you'll be able to find out all the information on them. And finally, this week we're going to go from one end of the patch that we cover to the other end of the patch. We're going to go from Nantwich in Cheshire to Buxton in Derbyshire. Buxton are our other sides in the FA Trophy. They start their FA Trophy campaign this weekend. They welcome Northern Premier League West side City Liverpool to the Tarmac Silverlands Stadium. And I caught up with one of their signings in the summer, Sam Minihan, to find out what he thinks of life at Buxton and of course look ahead to the big game. Sam Minihan, thanks for joining us on Moorlands Radio. It's your first season at National League Northside Buxton. What's your thoughts on how the new season is? Well, it's not new anymore now, really. Is it how the season is going for the Bucks?
I think it's been a mixed start, to be honest. Like you say, we're approaching halfway, which is crazy. It's gone very quick, but I think we're still looking for that run of form and to get a proper run going. But overall, I think there's a lot of positives to take, some really good standout performances and results. I think the key now is just to find that consistency within our performances, and that should correlate to the results. But really enjoying it there. It's a club with a lot of ambition that wants to do things in the right way. So it's great to be a part of. And like I say, I think the season so far has been mixed, which probably reflected on our league position at the minute. But that's something that we're not happy with, and we need to put right, and we will do.
You mentioned about the ambition. How far can Buxton Football Club go?
For me, it can kick on. It can go full time. It can work its way up the leagues. I do think you've got the owner there that has that ambition. And like I say, similar, I guess, to when I was at Stockport, they were part time, looking to go towards full time, and that's sort of seeing at Buxton as well. I think that's the ambition. Obviously, there's a way of doing it, and it has to be done in the right way. So for me, I see no reason why they can't keep going in the direction they have done. Obviously, with the promotion recently, and then a strong league position last season. Hopefully, we can improve that this season. Well, the overall aim is for promotion. But I guess you just need to keep improving on and off the field, and hopefully I see no reason why it can't go to those levels.
Can it repeat what you did with Stockport County and get into the Football League? It'd be some achievement for Buxton, wouldn't it, if they were to get there? And there's no reason why they can't. You only have to look at what Salford City have done in the last couple of seasons, and you go down south, you've got AFC Wimbledon who have done it, and Sutton United.
Yeah, and everyone that does it seems to hold their own in the league above, and then the league above that. And I think that would also be the case here. I think it's a club that, like I say, has that ambition and is keen to grow in the right manner, because it has to be done in the right way. Because we also see on the flip side, if it's done poorly, it can end disastrously. So I think that's what fills me with confidence to see the people that are around and the way that they want to go about it. And the team that we've got at the minute, some very experienced, strong players. It's a strong group of players that we've got, which can lay the foundations down for hopefully that. To me, that ambition, if I could mirror what Stockport have done, then that would be incredible. And like I say, I see no reason why not.
Any standout results for you so far this season?
I think the clear one was Scunthorpe away. Obviously, it was a high-profile game that, for different reasons, there was a lot going on around the time. Obviously, the manner in which the replay happened, to go there and then to win convincingly was a big standout for us. And then I think a recent home win against Tamworth, who were flying. So yeah, they're the two standouts at the minute. But like I say, we then need to go and back that up with some other wins which we've not managed to do yet. But there's been some really standout performances, which shows we can do it, and we can do it at the top. So yeah, a lot to take from that going forwards, and some real positives for the fans to see as well. I'm sure that was a great away day, or a couple of away days for them, and hopefully many more to come home and away.
Certainly. So I'm looking at that Scunthorpe victory. How pleasing was it to go back up there to get the second time round and get the win after people will obviously have their own opinions as whether it was right or wrong what happened, but to have had the victory taken away from you in the manner it seems to have been taken?
Yeah, I think it was a tough one to take. Like you say, everyone's got the opinions on it. We sort of kept our opinions to ourselves and just cracked on with it. We were ultimately, the situation was what it was. You can't change it. And we had a game that we needed to take 3 points from. So it didn't take much time for us to get over the initial shock of the decision that had actually been made. But then our main focus was on going and winning, and to do it in the way that we did was really pleasing. And it shows that we've got serious character in that group, and there's a lot of winners in there.
Certainly so. And league takes a bit of a backseat this weekend. It's the Isuzu FA Trophy, and you host City Liverpool. What's your thoughts on that game?
I think it's a good fixture. It's again full respect to the opposition. You can never take anyone for granted. I know that far too well in my career. So we'll be preparing tonight, and listen, I think that the aim's to get to the final, so that's how seriously the club are going to take it. So we won't be holding back. We'll be doing everything we can to get that win on Saturday, and then progressing the trophy, which I've seen at previous clubs can also lead to a good run of form in the league and can breed confidence in the group. So I think it's an important fixture for us, and one we need to have a reaction from our last game. We're on a bit of a poor run at the minute, so we need to put that right. So we we want to start that on Saturday with a positive result.
Just you mentioned about good run in the FA Trophy. It can give you a good form in the league. Is that how important the FA Trophy is? Because you see some of the big non-league clubs, they don't field the stronger sides because they want to get promoted out the National League into the Football League. But I guess if you then do play your strongest side and you're winning games, they always say winning breeds confidence.
I think so, yeah. From what I've seen, I think you've got to just have that mentality throughout the season regardless. I think you want to win every game convincingly. You want to do it in the right manner. And, yeah, I think as a player, you want to play in every game, and I'm sure that's the same for staff wanting to win every game. So, yeah, it seems a bit bizarre that you wouldn't want to go for it. And listen, at the end of it, there's a chance to play at Wembley, which is a lot of the lads' dreams to play there. So, you know, there's a carrot there, isn't there, that you want to go and get. So hopefully we can make some progress in that trophy. And like I say, with that draws even more attention to Buxton. Hopefully the fans keep turning out like they are doing, and we can keep growing that side. And it all just sort of adds to a momentum that you can build in the club, and I think that's something that I'm seeing at Buxton, and that hopefully will continue.
And we've seen sides from the National League North, the likes of North Ferriby and Brackley over the last decade now, getting to Wembley and winning. Hereford got there and were beaten. It, as you say, it certainly brings the fans and the momentum in. So I guess you take heart from what they've done in the non-league football in the FA Trophy. 100%.
I think I've played in National League North and the National League for long enough now to know that, you know, the gap's not too big. And some of the strongest teams in the North can no doubt hold their own in the National League, and likewise with the National League into League Two. I've seen those jumps, and I've seen how teams have done it comfortably and can hold their own. So there's some very strong teams in our league this season that we come up against, and I include ourselves in that when we're flying and we're in form. So if we can find that, then why not?
Absolutely, Sam. Thank you for your time, and all the best for Saturday.
My pleasure. Thanks, Rich.
So that's the thoughts of Sam Minihan of Buxton FC, looking ahead to that big game at the weekend for Buxton. And that's all we've got time for on this week's podcast. Remember, we're back on air on Saturday in the Saturday Sports Show in association with Leek Building Society. We have got live commentary from Clitheroe of East Lancashire, where Leek Town are the visitors, hoping to get things back on track. We'll have myself at the Cleric Stadium. Congleton Town host Romulus in the Midlands Football League. But don't forget, there is other fixtures. Kisgrove Athletic are at home. They're hoping to stop this run of defeats they're on. They welcome Stalybridge Celtic, who sit second in the league table, to the AutoNet Insurance Stadium. And don't forget Hamley Town, they're away at Vauxhall Motors this weekend. The Van Eupen Arena is their destination. And if we go into the North West Counties First Division South, then the fixtures for our local sides this weekend reads as follows. We have got a relatively short fixture list. In fact, we've got two of our teams. Abbey Horton United host Winsford United at the Drayton Beaumont Park, and Sandbach United go across Cheshire to Stockport Town in the at Stockport Sports Village. And Alsager Town should have been in action against Brockton in the Macron Cup, but that game has been postponed due to Brockton having to play their Isuzu FA Vars second round tie. They are playing Ashby Ivanhoe, but that game, having tried to play it at Ashby Ivanhoe twice, has been reversed and will now be played at Brockton for anyone interested. And of course, in the Midlands Football League Premier Division, Congleton Town, as I say, they're at home to Romulus. Congleton Town sitting top of the league table, hoping to continue. And our other side there in the Midlands Football League is Stone Alderlanians, and they visit Studley. So that's all your fixtures for the for this weekend. Of course, there's no Port Vale and no Stoke City because of international break. So if you are looking for a game, why not get along to Walley? There's some fantastic ties. Players you will recognise having played for Port Vale and for Stoke. Some exciting young prospects who could one day be playing for our Football League sides. Who knows? That's the beauty of football here in England. But don't forget, you can get in contact with us on any form of social media to give us your opinions of what we've discussed about on this podcast, what we talk about on the Saturday Sports Show. You can find us on Twitter, now known as X, Moorlands Sports 1. We're on Facebook, Moorlands Radio Sport, Instagram, Moorlands Radio Sport, YouTube, Moorlands Radio Sport, and finally, you can email the sports team, sport@moorlandsradio.co.uk. But for now, thank you for listening and enjoy your weekend.
Moorlands Sport Extra, the podcast, brought to you by the Moorlands Radio Sports Team and in association with Leek Building Society, awarded the UK's Best Building Society 2023.